Hi, I'm Jarrad Brown, Australian expat financial planner based here in Singapore. Thank you for tuning into the video today. What I'd like to share with you are some of the things that the financially savvy do that the average man on the street doesn't. Naturally, being here in Singapore, you don't have to look very far to realise that there is an abundance of wealth here. From the cars to the homes, to the restaurants, to the $1,000 restaurant bills that you can easily find here, there is clearly many millionaires and billionaires here. So what do they do differently that the average person doesn't? That's what I'd like to share with you today. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope you find this helpful. Let's dive right in. My first tip for you is that the financially savvy recognize their limitations and they seek advice. Now, this may be that they're not experts in legal matters or accounting matters or personal finance or investing in property or cryptocurrency or starting a business. Whatever it may be, they know their limitations and they outsource that to a professional. They know the value of seeking professional advice, they build their team of the right people around them, and they're not always on the lookout to try and find a cheaper way to get to that same outcome. Because what they often find is that action is far better than perfection. The second trait that we find amongst the financially savvy is that they are naturally curious. They just have a desire to learn. Now here I'm not necessarily talking about formal education, but I'm talking about new business ideas, new investment opportunities, whatever it may be. They're always on the lookout for new ideas, for ways to get ahead, whether that be financially or professionally, investing in new areas. It might be NFTs, it might be cryptocurrency, it might be a new form of energy distribution. Whatever it may be, they're always curious to learn and learn from the experts. The third one, which may sound very obvious, but they both set and track the progress towards their goals. Whether it be saving money, buying a business, buying a home, doing something and achieving something financially, they will track their progress religiously. But they will also know that they don't need to get upset about the short-term blips, the short-term movements, any short-term setbacks, because they know that will just give them a chance to actually correct course and get back on track to achieving those goals. The fourth thing that we find they do is they avoid bad debt. Now, very important here, I'm talking about bad debt only, not good debt, not talking about investment debt, but bad debt, meaning buy now, pay later loans, or large credit card balances, or personal loans to go out and pay for a holiday, or pay for a car, or pay for some other depreciating asset, what we would often refer to as a liability or a lifestyle asset. They find it's not necessary, and if they find that they're actually having to go down that path, they'll often look for a better way to achieve it. The fifth trait that we find amongst the financially savvy is the good old saying, they're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. They realise that their financial goal may take months, years, or even decades in some circumstances, but they've mapped out exactly what needs to be achieved by when to get to that end goal. They realise there are going to be many steps along the way. They're going to need to engage the services, potentially, of different professionals along the way. They know how to track the progress, and they know they need to take different steps. There will be setbacks, there may be roadblocks they've got to overcome, but they're always playing the long game. The sixth thing that we often find amongst the financially savvy is that they will always look to legally, important, minimise their taxes where possible. Now, this might be setting up different ownership structures such as a company or family trust, or setting up investments in joint names or offshore or wherever it may be, creating different tax deductions, utilising company losses potentially depending on their own situation. There's often a myriad of ways to legally minimise tax. Again, just important to actually seek professional advice. The seventh trait that we see amongst the financially savvy is that they will often have multiple sources of income. Now, this might be a side hustle, it might be selling baseball, basketball cards on eBay, it might be selling music, it might be investing in other opportunities, it might just be investing in a blue chip portfolio of shares that provides you with a regular income stream. Whatever it may be, they know how to de-risk by creating multiple sources of income. That way, if they ever lose their job or suffer a downturn with their business, they've got other sources of income that they can rely on. And often they will look to find other sources of income that are what we would call uncorrelated, meaning not all in one sector, not all from one source, not all in one region or area, or even asset class in many times. My eighth and final trait that I want to share with you today amongst the financially savvy is that they will not put off to tomorrow what they can do today. Whether it's reaching out to seek professional advice, getting started with a project, writing a business plan, making that investment, reading that book, whatever it may be, they know that we all have limited time and they will act. Again, procrastination or perfection is often the greatest enemy of progress. I hope you find these traits helpful. I hope they help shed a little bit of light. I hope they give you perhaps a chance to reflect on your own traits, your own personalities, where your strengths and weaknesses may lie. If you have any to share, again, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and I really appreciate you tuning in, and see you next time.